What's up, boys? This is Dylan with The Prepared Father here, and today we're going to be digging into a head-to-head comparison between the Glock 48 MOS and the Staccato CS. Two very different handguns aimed at solving the same problem. How do I confidently, comfortably, and effectively protect myself and my family on a daily basis? The two carry options I've been rocking this past month or so to make sure that when I come to you guys, I can tell you effectively, these are both worth your money, but is one worth more of it? Let's find out together. So first thing we're going to start off with is obviously we're going to show clear. This is a loaded magazine that is empty. The Glock 48 has been around for a few years now. I think it came out in 2019, and in my opinion, it really came out because the SIG P365 dropped, and that kind of changed the game so that every gun manufacturer was trying to, put out a slimlined, full-size carry gun, which I think was a great idea. I think Glock kind of dropped the ball because they put out the 48 and 43X, which had a max capacity of 10 from the factory. But luckily, Shield Arms kind of saved the day and dropped a 15-round mag. But I will say, I've heard mixed things, and I've had mixed experiences with the Shield Arms magazines. Now, this is the Gen 3 magazine that I have had well over 300 rounds through. Not a hiccup, not a fail to eject, fail to feed, stovepipe, none of it. I have had on Glock Shield Arms Gen 2 or Shield Arms Gen 2 mags, I have had them drop out of the mag without me hitting the mag release in the middle of shooting. Glock 48. Which immediately pissed me off because I felt like I wasted $50. There isn't a world in which I exist where I'm going to drop $50 on a magazine that's going to drop free when being shot, alright? So, personally, I carried this gun for a few weeks, and I really liked it. But then my wife commandeered it from me, and it fit her hand like a glove. It helps her shoot confidently, and it makes her want to carry more often. It's slim, it's light, and honestly, it's one of the guns that you forget that you're carrying when you're wearing it. But for the downside, for someone with bigger hands, not like me, I have medium. I have the biggest hands. The hands are the biggest. Huge. They're the greatest. But for real though, for people that have bigger hands, large, XL large size gloves, you might have a hard time getting a firm grip on this and it feeling good in your hands. All right. But I will say, if you buy the Antimatter Industries Antimatter wing, it really combats that excessive snappiness that you may feel. I didn't feel it. I felt like it. Let me call Justin. Let's see if we can go to the range. Hey, J-Man, what's up, brother? You want to hit the range today? Well, actually, I can't. I spend all my money on guns, and I can't afford ammunition, so it's kind of where I'm at, dude. Sorry. Don't be this guy. Get all your ammunition from Delta Co. Ammunition. Use code TPF5. You're the greatest. It pushed right back into my hands instead of up, but it could be a person-by-person basis, so don't take my word for it. Now let's talk about the Staccato CS. Now, again, this is a dry fire magazine that I utilize. It has all dry fire bullets inside of it, along with one dry fire bullet in the chamber. All right, now we're clear. Okay, so the first thing I noticed, the slide, man, it just feels like butter. The first time you rack a Staccato, and, I'm guessing an Infinity and an Atlas and all the high-end 2011s, but I would say a $4,000 to $6,000 carry gun, probably stretching it. $2,000 if you want the best performance out of what you're carrying. I think maybe, depending on how you view it, this might be a great option for you. All right.
Now, I've shot a lot of 1911s. I've shot the Springfield Prodigy, and the CS, man, it feels different. It's purposeful, precision crafted. These are the words that come to mind when you are shooting this, when you're manipulating it, when you're pulling the trigger, when you're rocking the slide back, when you're feeling it in your hands and how well it conforms, the way the grip safety gets pushed down upon the master grip. That's exactly what you're looking for. It's compact, but no mistake, it's no pocket rocket, you know what I mean? You're not going to shove this in your pocket and forget about it. This is a heftier gun. Not in weight, you know what I mean? I think a standard 45 ACP 1911 is going to weigh quite a bit more than this. It does weigh more than the 48. But with the quality holster, it's absolutely doable for EDC. There's no doubt about it. Plus, for me, the added weight is kind of worth it because it helps performance. You know what I mean? That snappiness that people talk about, I think it's mitigated when you have the kind of weight that is reciprocating and in the actual frame itself. So let's jump into recoil and shooting experience. With the Glock 48, you get what you get. This is the Glocky platform. All right, it's a low bore access, double nested recoil spring, and it does its job. You know what I mean? It's not flippy, but there's definitely a sharp push. All right, more straight back than muzzle rise, which I appreciate. You know what I mean? I think that's where the Glock kind of shines. Instead of that muzzle rise here, it more feels like that than this. That thinner frame means that recoil gets directed into the center of your palm more than the double stack would. But even with 500 rounds through it, I'm still impressed. It feels more like a slim Glock 19, you know what I mean? Which basically it is. But it feels more like that than a micro compact. The accuracy is fantastic with the Gen 5 Glock barrel. So if you got your fundamentals on point, the gun, it just delivers. It's point of aim, point of impact, and that's what's going to happen every time. Now, the CS is where things really changed for me. I've heard, everything online from it's too snappy, it recoils like a J-frame. And man, I just didn't find that to be true. It's fake news.
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you stay categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
If you're hearing that, it's fucking fake news. All right? So, don't read everything you believe online. And I tested alongside my P10S, 2 M&Ps, the Glock 48. My M&Ps have the Apex trigger and the Performance Center trigger. And this crushed it, man. 200 rounds, 1 range session. The first day I got this. 0 malfunctions. Defensive ammo, Hornady American Gunner. Perfect. Ran smooth as silk. The range ammo, Delta Defense. It is my nude preferred range ammo because it is consistent, rock solid, and the people that make it are my hometown heroes, brother. You know what I mean? So I'm going to support any veteran-owned, woman-owned company that is in the two-way space. You know what I mean? Those are the voices that need to be heard the most, and when they're making a product that delivers, I'm going to stick by it. And here's what really impressed me, all right? The drills were faster than even the M&P with the Apex trigger. The splits were faster. I'm talking, 0.05 to 0.1 seconds faster than my Apex, which is impressive, dude. That's a compact, almost full-size handgun. And this is a 3.5-inch barrel double-stack 1911. That M&P with the Apex trigger should be blowing it out of the water. And don't get me wrong, that thing's fire. It's an amazing platform. But this really shocked me, all right? Even with the compact size, I felt like this felt more like a full-size 1911 with 9mm rather than like a snappy J-frame or whatever. FH trigger is absolutely incredible. Short take up, and just one of the crispest trigger pulls you will get on the market. Bam, man. That still impresses me. Yeah, comfortable recoil, especially if you're doing follow-up shots. The seconds count. Now let's talk numbers. The CS outperformed my Glock 48 almost every time. You know what I mean? It wasn't just about, oh, this thing feels amazing. It was about this thing is cracking. But with this kind of performance, you have to perform premium maintenance. Premium price, premium maintenance, premium performance. That's the way you got to look at it, all right? Now, the Glock 48, it held its own. It's quick, it's accurate, it's reliable, you know, especially for newer shooters or those who prioritize concealability and simplicity. It's a fantastic option. I could never say you're going wrong with it. But you want a carry gun that performs like a duty gun in like miniature form. The CS absolutely delivers. So here's the bottom line. The Glock 48, if you want something reliable, slim, and affordable, the Glock 48, it's a no-brainer. You load it full of ammo, you put an optic on it, and you're kind of set, you know what I mean? It's tried, it's true, it's tested, it's loved by many, even including myself. But if you've got the budget and you're looking for something, you know, something that bridges the gap between carry gun and range performer, the CS is the Ferrari of EDC. It's not cheap, 100%, I agree. But the feel, the confidence, the performance, for me, it's worth every penny. You know what I mean? I want to know when I pull that EDC in a defensive encounter, I want to know I am a danger to anyone who would harm innocent life, period. That's what I want. So what would you choose, guys? Would you stick with the tried and true Glock 48 MOS? Or would you make the jump to a high-speed Staccato CS if you had the money? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it.